everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Oral Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Love Kaishone. And today we're going to talk about manifestations, and being that it's a new year, let's make it the best you possible. Let's evolve you. Let's change mentalities. So, to start off with, I want to ask my guests what their opinions of manifestation is.
First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Monique. I have the TLM agency, and yeah, I'm all for a new year, better me.
Oh, I am Pharaoh. My music is at Pharaoh X right now, currently on all platforms. And I'm a musical artist at the time being.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So manifestation for me is like, it's a visual thing. Like if I see it and I want it, I'm going to have it. So I definitely incorporate that in several ways, all of them being visual. Like I have to see it. I'm a visual learner, and seeing it just keeps it in the front of my mind. And I just came into the realization that you could really just have anything and everything you want if you work for it. So that's what it means for me.
For me, I take it more into the artist, not just musical artists, but artists in general. When it comes to manifestation, I'm the type of person that likes to think about an idea, and my favorite thing in the world is to create the idea that I've thought of, and to make it a reality. And that feeling for me is I like that feeling, so that's how I kind of manifest.
I love that.
So I think of the idea, then I create it visually, and then that's like my manifestation.
Okay. I agree with both. I think that it's like living, breathing what you want and what you desire, and making sure that everything you do is moving towards that desire in some sort of way. Why do you think it's important to manifest things or to put that energy into the atmosphere?
Man, life is hard. Like, it's just hard. So if you're not actively working towards something, you can be very distracted and pulled into like a lot of fluffy, negative, dumb stuff. I'm sure a lot of us can agree, if you're not in alignment to what you want, you'll notice how your life just drifts, and you'll just find yourself in situations like, dang, I'm really in the ghetto. Like, or just in situations that are not optimizing your life or getting you further. You just like, dang, I didn't plan nothing today, and look at me, like helping this person do this, and it's just really stupid. They trying to fight their man, or just things that are not in alignment for what you're doing. So just having a guide to align you for what you want is amazing. So
Okay. What about you? Why is it important?
wait, period.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
You said, why is manifestation important?
Oh, yeah. Why is it important?
Oh, it's definitely important. It's like having a foundation to a new beginning, for sure, because that's what basically manifestation is. It's like it's important for me because I feel like in my own philosophy of living, I feel like everything has to have a foundation. So in order for it to become something or to build, you have to have something to build on.
That's true.
So, and that is what your manifestation is, that something to build on, that idea that you're creating. And then, you got to have a beginning, middle, and end, step-by-step process. You can't just, rush into things. You can't just jump into things. You got to have a structure into everything that you go about and want to do in order to be extremely successful and continuously successful, because you can be successful without a plan.
He preaching up in here.
Continually successful.
Yes.
You gotta have that step-by-step foundation and stuff like that. So I think that's when manifestation comes in. It's like the first thing. The first step is to manifest it,
right? And
then start your creation.
I agree. Yeah. If you don't think you can get it, you'll never get it. Like the first time somebody tell me they can't, that's the reason you won't, because you don't think you can. And I don't want to talk to you.
You said you can. Yeah. That's why.
Because can't should never be in a man's vocabulary.
Yeah.
Because if you say can't, you ain't a man.
Words from our lovely movie, Love and Basketball.
So cut them the check. Cut them the check.
For real, I need it. But that's so true. I think it's important too, because like if you go back to like even Bible scripture or what's been taught to us, like faith without work is dead. Like having the faith is the first step, because it's obviously the first thing that is brought up in that statement. The faith. And then you have to put the work behind it after you believe that you can have that or attain whatever your goals are. So definitely important. I, looking in today's generation, I've noticed some things are kind of skewed when it comes down to how we generate wealth and what we sacrifice for it. And the negativity that comes behind certain things that people are doing to obtain fame, popularity, wealth, whatever.
Clout. Call it what it is. Sis. You know? That clout.
So I want to talk about what you guys are seeing in today's generation when it comes down to just going after wealth or gaining wealth in maybe not the most positive ways. Let's just say that. Because it plays a lot into where we think what we think we can attain and how we think we can attain it. If we don't believe in ourselves that we can work hard to get somewhere, we want to find the shortcut because we don't believe the hard way is going to work out for us. Especially people who come from like minority backgrounds, like we don't see certain things in our community and certain
it's not normalized
growths and it's not normalized. So what do you see in this generation when it comes down to people getting wealth, and how can we fix that?
First of all, they down bad. I'm just kidding. Now we have some good people from this generation, like Julian here. Like he's really on a good path, and there's others like him as well. But for this generation, I feel like you said, they're not trying to streamline. They're just trying to do shortcuts. They're not trying to find the best efficient way to keep their morals and values intact and be like, okay, I can still have this. What's the cars that they like? Who knows? Ferrari or whatever, and not have to degrade myself or my culture or who I am as a person or others around me. I don't have to step on no one's back to get it because we can all get it. And I feel like envious behavior is a contributing factor, or just not trying to be as helpful, not a community team leader. Kind of like, instead of pulling seats to the table, you'd be like, oh, she might take my spot, I'm not going to invite her. That's crazy. Like, it shouldn't be like that. As well as just from this generation, I feel like they're easily influenced, unfortunately, to the wrong things. But it's not their fault. Look, it's the days of the internet. So they, instead of just MySpace, they got TikTok, which has these challenges like kill yourself, pretty much challenges where, take a lot of medicine and see if you hallucinate. And death is the recurring factor we keep seeing. Or just negative things like the music, the shows. It's not telling you, hey, I put 10 years in work and manifested my dream, and this is the steps it took, and it was a daily grind. It's telling you, hey, I got rich overnight. That's not realistic, and that's not how manifestation works. And also that leads to low self-esteem, and when you think that it's going to be quick and it's not, and so you think you failed, your self-esteem is affected, your confidence is affected, your ability to get up and keep going is affected. That's why you see a lot of people, if they aren't in that other position to make it by sacrificing their values, there's people that are like, I'm going to settle. Because I don't think I can get that. Oh, that's not for me. I don't believe I can get it, because they're not telling you, hey, in 9 years, I practiced in private for 9 years before this 10th year really took off and I made that 100K. They love selling you them, how to make 100K in 9 months. Girl, you've been in this business for about 25 years. I'm not about to play with you. Hustling and grinding. You've built those email lists. You've did those funnels. You did the work. Tell the people the truth. But I guess lying is sexy. And that's one thing I've noticed about this generation. They're very easily to be led astray and lied to. Like, ain't nobody finna tell me they made 9K or a certain amount in a certain amount of days.
They're easily influenced because most of them are followers. Because if they're seeing you, most of the time they're following you, or they have some interest in what you're doing. So they do use the people that are above them or ahead of them. I wouldn't say above them, but ahead of them in their field as motivation. So when they see it, that's kind of what they kind of strive towards. You get what I'm saying?
I can see that. That's definitely a valid point. So do you think it's right, or do you feel like there's a way to resolve that?
What it is that the influencers have to influence in the right way. They have to realize they have a responsibility.
What Cardi B say? She said that ain't my job.
Well, it is.
Well, then, I think if she says that's not her job, she's telling you, don't follow the footsteps that I went down to be successful. There's other ways to do it. That means, if that's the case, if she's telling you not to follow the way she did, then don't. But another way she can go about it is by giving people an alternative in order to be successful. Like nowadays, the artists that is popping now create their own labels to go find other artists. Like Lil Baby has his own label and he promotes people, and it really started from Young Thug. So Young Thug he literally pays trappers to not trap no more and become rappers or do something else. Like he did Lil Baby. And he gave, I think the story is, don't quote me, but I think the story is he gave him like $100,000 to stop trapping and to start doing music because he had a talent and he believed in his talent. And that's what kind of created Lil Baby today. And now he does the same thing. He promotes, okay, you don't have to trap no more. Let me give you this loan. Let me give you this money. Let me sign you. And he made his own record label called Four Pockets Full, and he signs artists, and then he kind of makes them who they are today.
I love that,
and I like that too. So that's the people. That's the kind of rappers that I follow.
The role models. I think people need to choose their role models.
Appropriately.
Like we shouldn't. The Baby is cancel, y'all. Like period. Okay, you don't do that to women. Period. So following someone that's also in that same field.
Can we cancel somebody though?
Only God can. You right?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Rapping wise, if you want to talk about that, rapping wise, I like Lil Baby. He's one of my favorite artists.
I know. I like Lil Baby. No, I'm talking about Da Baby.
No, Da Baby. I'm talking about Da Baby too.
The one that wore a diaper for clout.
No.
Yes.
I agree with what you said.
Yes, that is one of my favorite
tell
artists.
her to get out with their child.
Yes, that's one of my. That is one of my favorite artists.
I agree with what you said. But I think that what's being sold to people is that because think about the world we live in.
Oh, you getting good at porn.
Quick and fast is how you make it.
Yeah.
So when people say, I made $900K in 9 months, and this is how you do it, because that's going to appeal to people. People don't want to hear, oh, in 10 years you could have $900K.
Really?
You could be hustling.
But that's really what it is.
They don't want to hear that because that's not appealing to them.
Yeah.
People don't want to work. In this society, what I'm seeing in this generation is that people are not wanting to work. People talk about how they can't make money and you know, all these things, and you know, they go after the government to get money and things like that. They scam and all kind of stuff because they don't want to work. It's not that there's not the opportunity to work, because there are jobs everywhere. Part of what I do for a living is to find people jobs. There are jobs everywhere. Just people don't want to work. So another thing I want to talk about while we're on this topic is wealth versus fame. Because a lot of people don't know the difference, and I think that they're going after fame and popularity because they think that they think that directly is equated with wealth, and they have that so skewed. So let's talk about fame versus wealth.
Let's talk about
what do you guys feel?
Let me start this one off.
Go ahead and start.
You go ahead.
Because fame and wealth, if you play your cards right, is the exact same thing. In order to, not in order, but in 2021, 80% of successful business is run off of their fan base and who supports them. That's how you make sales. And that's what clout, fame, fan base, it's all the same thing. So clout, I think, my personal opinion, is clout, fame, fan base, and and consumers are all the same thing. Anyone who follows you,
I don't agree.
Hold on. Anyone that follows you and clicks on your profile and supports you, majority of the time will support your business if you start one. Will support you if you do this, if you do that. I have a rapper. His name is NBA Youngboy, and he's one of my favorite artists. Just because he's one of my favorite artists, if I have the money and see the product of his clothing brand that it says NBA on it, I'm going to support because I support him and I support what he stands for.
There's a lot of reasons behind
and because I support him and he has that clout and fame and he is that artist, it's the reason why I would continue to buy his business because if you have let me finish because if you're thinking about, okay, he has 10 million followers. People want 10 million followers. That's clout. That's fame, right? Even if you're not NBA Youngboy, if you have 10 million followers, even 100,000 followers, that is a foundation for a new business. So in a way, clout is fame. If you have clout, you will get booked for a club just because a lot of people will go there just because they'll be exposed to the post that you're posting. So that is in revenue. Yeah. It is.
I think in a way it can be good and bad, but what I'm specifically talking about are the people who believe that just because
they're tied together.
Like, okay, so say you go from like people who go viral. A lot of people who've gone viral do not have the wealth behind the viralness. So just going viral and getting that mass majority of followers onto your page or onto your social media does not equate with you getting money. There are plenty of people who are on YouTube who have all this stuff.
That's when monetization comes in.
Yeah. Well, you didn't say that. You said clout. And so clout, you got to be careful with wealth and fame.
Well, that's where it starts from. That's where the question started from.
Is because wealth means you have a knowledge and you can maintain how you make money. You can redo it. If you lost it all tomorrow, you can go ahead. Clout, you can be popular. What's the girl with the gorilla glue? What's she doing now? She good? Everything okay at home? But she actually
has a YouTube channel with 2 million followers. She averages like 1 million views a video.
I wasn't done. But she actually strategized and she was able to turn it into a wealth. Now that's different. But there's
so now you're talking about other people making it into this possibility to make it into
it's not just about numbers. Loyalists. If you're a loyalist of NBA young boy, there's plenty of people that have a lot of followers. Don't mean you want to follow him because they might not appeal to you. You're not a loyalist. You listen to him. He's talented at what appeals to you, rapping. So like there's also Miranda Lambert. You like her? She has 1 million followers. She doesn't appeal to you. Yeah, but they're not also clout. They're wealth. They have built a brand. They are known for something. You know when you click on his page, you know what you're going to expect.
It's more like, in order to make it wealth, you have to intertwine them in a way. Yeah. You have to collab them.
I think because you could tease entertainment, but clout, I feel like that's something
that's where it starts.
I'm about to twerk.
He got NBA YoungBoy got clout. He got clout because he is talented.
Yes, but no, he got successful and recognized from talent. Clout is a one-off thing. Oh, you got clout.
Okay.
Because then
you're saying clout. So you're saying clout and fame and stuff like that is different.
That's
okay.
And then one thing I want to say too is that clout can always go away.
Yes, you can lose that because that's not in no more.
But if you get your wealth and set your goals and set your foundation, like you said correctly, you can always have that. You can set yourself up to always have wealth. But you can't set yourself up to always have clout.
Because it changes.
Singers from the 90s are not
as popular in this because you guys are absolutely right. But I think we're missing a piece, and where we're not connecting.
I think
the piece is that. Listen, for example, if you have, let's say you had one video that goes viral, but you monetize that video, right? And let's say it gets 10 million views or something like that, and you make, let's say, $100,000 from that one video. You make that one video that's considered clout. You had one video that popped, but if it's just one video that pops, that's kind of clout.
Oh, just one?
Yeah, just one video that went viral, just one. You have multiple videos, but you have that one. It's only one. That's what I'm saying. One. But listen. One video that went viral, got 10 million views. You made, let's say, $100,000 off of it. That's a foundation to start your business.
That's if they want to, but most clout seekers don't have the strategy behind doing that.
They don't want to.
You're absolutely right. You're that one moment. They don't know what to do with that one moment.
Yeah, it's like, girl,
like that. You can't do the glue thing again. You literally won't have a scalp. Yeah.
So I think a good segue. I think this is a good segue into that. Speaking on that, like that one video dies because they don't have any mindset to grow that one video or any tools that they need. Yeah. So let's talk about creating tools for people, and that kind of is one of the reasons why we're seeing that people just flop or they go with one easy way of getting money or easy way of getting fame because it's a lot less hard work than to set goals and try to really actually attain them. So let's talk about setting realistic goals because
goals.
I think that people set goals like, I
want to be a millionaire.
Yeah, and it's like that's a great goal. But let's talk about the realistic goals.
That's a good goal. You just got to have goals before that goal.
Yeah, you forgot about the 100K mark.
Yeah.
You got $1 in your account and you don't like to save money. So how are you doing it?
Realistic. That's what realistic goals come into play.
That's when manifestation comes into play.
And setting goals.
You think somebody in your account.
Yeah, no, but you can manifest
them smart goals. And
you can manifest $1 million, but you have to also know that
have that foundation out.
What are some realistic goals that I can set and steps that I can set to get it there? I need to set realistic goals and things so that I can get to that. So let's talk about the difference between setting a major goal, an ending goal, and then the realistic goals to get to there. Because I think a lot of people are like that. Like, this year, I want to do this, that, and the third. But they don't say, so say you want to make an album in the year.
Right.
you have to set the goal of setting studio time, making money to be able to set the studio time.
You gotta
finding a good team. You know, like, so there are other steps and goals that we need to be achieved. Like maybe by January, the end of January, I need to have a great engineer so that I can work with them directly to get them to do my album or my EP. I need to start making this amount of money in excess to be able to pay for the time that I need in the studio to be able to do it. So those are the realistic goals that I think that people need to kind of like take into account when they set big goals.
I agree.
But I also want to ask you guys, what are some realistic goals that you have set for yourself, and or an experience that you've had where you didn't set a realistic goal, and you let yourself down because you didn't set that goal.
Girl, me and my therapist had a session, baby. She told me the reason why I fall into slumps is because
you fall to some sluts. Don't follow no sluts, y'all.
No, my therapist was saying,
the wine talking?
No, slumps is because, like I said earlier, when you set an unrealistic goal and you don't meet it because it was never, you didn't set yourself up to meet it.
Yeah.
It creates low self-esteem and it damages your confidence to continue.
Yeah.
So that's what I was experiencing. I was like, man, I'm feeling down right now. And she was like, why? I was like, man, I'm just not where I want to be. And she's like, why are you not where you want to be? And I was like, girl, I should be $1 million. She's like, okay, have you got the 100K yet? And I was like, no. She's like, have you got this mark yet for the month? I was like, not yet. I'm working on it. She was like, okay, so work on those first. And then when you hit those, it's going to build confidence in yourself. Yeah. And when you feel better, you're going to be more able to hit those goals.
Like, for example, I heard DC Young Fly say that...
shout out to DC. Tag him.
Yeah. Shout out to DC. I heard him say that once you learn how to make that first $1,000, for example, now you know how to make $1,000.
Yeah.
So now making $1,000 it starts to get easier and easier.
Yep.
So you start getting more plentiful. Then it turns to 10,000.
Yeah.
Then when you get used to making that 1,000, it becomes that 10,000. It's gonna start getting easy to make 10,000.
Right.
Then you keep making 10,000, then doing it in like that type of manner,
increments.
in increments, and learning how to make that.
I'm gonna quote the great Warren Buffett. If you don't know him, look him up. The 100K is a bitch, but after that, you can hit the $1 million after you hit 100K.
Yeah. So it really takes some time and
like
work.
You said earlier, Shalay, about maintenance. Like, our generation doesn't know maintenance and financial literacy. It's not enough to make it once. Because how many people had that PPP, had that 100K, and didn't do nothing? Y'all begging me. Y'all in my inbox. Y'all trying to turn 500 to 5,000. You ain't about to get me. So, like, we need to learn. We need to normalize
self-accountability.
Accountability. Having those hard talks with bitch, you're broke. Yeah. What you doing at brunch? You know, go home, ho.
You know what? Another thing is, it's like you have to, like you said, have those hard conversations with yourself. But I think the main thing is when you set a goal or when you achieve something, don't give up. Because another thing I see is like they do really good things and then they die off because they don't have
where y'all at?
So motivation comes in. So a part of being holding yourself accountable is also holding yourself to. Sometimes you have to motivate yourself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
Always.
Encouraging yourself is always going to keep you motivated. Right. Motivating yourself is always going to help you achieve goals. Achieving those goals is going to get you the lifestyle that you need. Right. It all plays together. But I think that having a mind to be accountable is the main thing. Like even in like your relationship, even in your workplace, like, hey, you know, my stats are going down if you work in that type of industry. Just like, you know what? I'm better than this. Let me set a goal this week to make sure that my numbers go up. Because you're holding yourself accountable. And those little things may help you. Okay, you made more money because your numbers went up. And now you can work on your business. Or now you can grow in other areas.
I love that.
I think that everything we do, if we hold ourselves, like last month, I totally spent too much money.
Girl.
In December, like everybody else that I know, I'm
pretty sure that on Ash, huh?
Girl, I was doing too bad. But I think that, so this month I'm like, I'm not going to spend any excess money that's not intentional, which is why I'm not drinking.
Oh, shout out to Shalay. She is not drinking.
I'm not drinking because I am a person. I'm a person who loves to drink.
You love to enjoy yourself,
and go to brunch in a healthy way, of course. But if that means that I'm overspending and I'm going into the red, then I need to cut back some things. I
love that.
And that's something
that's where your
easy.
Foundation comes into.
Yeah, and that's
because having that foundation to know and to plan,
I'm proud of you.
not to have that spending habit is because is where you can continue your success.
Yes.
Because you can be doing all this. Like, let me tell a story. Because when I was becoming a sophomore in high school, I had a dilemma, and my dilemma was I had to take the bus to school, but I wanted to go to football practice. Right. But football practice started at 5:30 in the morning, and at the time, the buses didn't start running till 5. Dang. So I wouldn't make it on time. Yeah. But I really wanted to be on varsity, and the varsity practice started at 5:30 in the morning. So I had to make a plan, and I was so motivated at the time and so driven and had all the keys to success, but I didn't have a foundation. So, but what I did was every day I woke myself up and I played a motivational video. Oh, yeah, and then that motivational video motivated me every day to wake up at about 4 o'clock in the morning to jog to school every day.
I know that's right.
And it was about 2.5 miles away.
Oh, you crazy.
So every morning I would literally jog to school and make it to practice on time. And I was going to be on varsity as a sophomore. Right, but my foundation wasn't there. So let me continue my story. So being that my foundation wasn't there, me jogging to school every day and not eating properly and not having that foundation and having that structural plan at home in order to be healthy, in order to be successful in what I'm trying to do, is the reason why I got sick. I couldn't go to school. And I was irresponsible at the time. I was only a sophomore. I didn't call in to school to tell them I'm not coming. I was just sick, and I just was like, okay, I'm not going to there, so I'm just not gonna go. So and it just created a pattern of failure when I had all the keys of success. And that's why the foundation and that manifestation is so important. Because if you don't have that foundation manifestation, and your success is only gonna last for so long.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have that to fall on. Like if I had that and when it was time to get sick, when winter came, or you know what I'm saying, really kicked in, when the little chills start coming into my body, if I had my warm meals, my soups and stuff like that,
I'd have been okay.
I would have been okay. I would have survived. I would have been able to go to school. I'd have been able to continue my success. Or if you just had the
resource to know to call in.
Yeah, if I was responsible to call in.
Not even responsible. I think black people, we don't know what we can do.
Yeah.
You can call off for personal help. You can get that doctor's note. It's not bad. Who cares how they look at you? You have a justifiable reason. Yeah. Let's normalize that as well.
Yeah.
So
also,
you just didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that better.
Having a mindset, I know that's right.
You have the knowledge now, which is important. But I think
I learned from it.
Right.
That's the more important thing.
Now you're teaching others.
Now I'm teaching others and saying it on live and stuff like that.
That was a great lesson that God presented to you also to make sure you plan.
Right.
Like me,
there we go.
I'm a person who overplans, overthinks, you don't want to go too far in ahead. You don't want to say,
is there such thing as
in 5 years when I do this, like don't go too far.
Yeah,
but it should be a plan in place.
I agree.
So right now, you like your younger self didn't know. Okay, right now I'm good. It's summertime, it's not bad weather, so I could do this. But what's gonna happen if I'm doing this for too long?
Right.
Or in the winter, when winter kicks in, it gets cold, and
do I have vitamins?
Right.
Am I eating right? Like,
could I have carpool?
Playing it all together.
Could I have carpooled?
Yeah. Also thinking about all the assets in my field too. When we sit down at a table, we do these called clinical oversights, and we all speak about different things that we want to do, but there's only one person there to kind of help with the planning, and he's a risk assessor. So what he does is he assesses the risk of those ideas. Yes.
Wait, say that. Repeat that. A risk assessor. That's what you need in your goals.
So assess the risk. You need to assess the risk. You need to clearly plan. And when you assess the risk, it helps you to plan.
Because it's helping me with my goals.
It helps you to plan better. So when we say we want to spend a budget of this and we want to do a event for our clients and we want to do this, and he's like, okay, let's assess the risk. Their neighborhood, is that neighborhood known for drugs and violence? Do we want to trigger our clients by putting them in that neighborhood? Like, and that's something we're not thinking about. But we need to, when we plan, assess the risk.
You gotta assess the risk. Unselfishly think. Yes, you gotta be open-minded to all the factors.
Yes, and you know what? Because that was your plan, and say it had worked out, and say you ended up being successful at it, and all this, it worked out. But for a female, say I wanted to do cheer, I can't drop to school at 5 something in the morning
because it's not safe.
It's not safe for me. So I have to assess the risk and say, look, maybe I have to do
maybe I have to carpool.
So I have to carpool, or I'm gonna stay at Lizzie's house, my best friend.
There we go.
So that we can go together because her mom drops her off at school.
Lizzie mom
and let me my mom and her mom converse and come up with some way for us both to be able to participate in this activity. So yes, it goes from planning, assessing the risk to adjust the plan, and then administrating that plan and assessing it.
Safely winning.
And you know what? My old manager used to always say these words, and it was so annoying at the time. I ain't gonna cap.
Let me write this shit down.
It was very good because now I understand what she meant. She used to say that life is a living, working manual. You always should be assessing. You always should be revising. That's why when you get documentations from companies, at the bottom of that paperwork, it says revised on this day. Because obviously when they first made it, there were some things that needed to change, that they had to kind of like reevaluate. And as things go on in life, like now there's COVID protocols. We didn't have that a year or 2 years ago before COVID. So you always want to reassess yourself and find out what avenues are working, what avenues aren't. I think a lot of it also goes into what is going to be the most simplest way to achieve your goal, and not making yourself be simple, but how can I have the straightest line? Yes, there's going to be some squiggles, but let me make this pathway. And another thing that I want to talk about is how you're doing a vision board party. So in the beginning of the year, I did a vision board. And why that is important, because it kind of helps you create a path to what you want in the year. And in that path, you can make goals and begin to work towards it. So let's talk about the vision of your manifestation and how you can create that map. And I want to start with you because you're doing the event on the vision board.
Period. Okay, so the link is going to be in her bio. I'm going to force her. So I am having a vision board party. You two can come. Okay, so basically it's just like she said, a visual manifestation board that you see every day to motivate you and keep you on track with what you really want. You said you wanted that. You cut it out. You glued it to this board. Let's go about getting it. And so I guess making the goals is a way to achieve your visions and your manifestation and your vision board. So also I like, one thing I love about vision boards, it's kind of like you almost feel like you can't get it when you first make it. And then you slowly see yourself waking up daily, achieving those goals, crossing them off like, dang, I almost want to remove this and readjust it.
Because I'm almost done with it.
Right. So that's just a good feeling when you wake up and you actively doing the work to achieve things on your list that you like, you know you could do it, but it's like that little voice that be like, bitch, can you get that Range Rover? Yeah. And then now look at you driving that Range Rover,
that confirmation,
driving that Mercedes, driving that bill. Hey, shout out to you. You young and getting it, and I was never that way. So yeah, shout out to you because you started off that way. So like, I think we all have that in us. I don't know what it is, but
we have it. Everybody has the capability to do what they need to do because there are people with disabilities and other things
and believing that you can actually do it. And
put it into play.
Not taking that risk. And some people are scared of success.
How do you get over being scared? Like when you like.
Well,
okay, let me talk about that.
I'm gonna talk about it next.
Oh, that's next. Okay, we'll go. We'll let that be next.
I'm gonna ask this thing. I want to just say something too because the thing is, don't limit yourself.
Don't
limits create what you don't want, which is procrastination and all the other things. But I want to talk about real quick before we go to the next thing is not being afraid to make adjustments and changes.
Oh yeah.
If something is not feeling right, because another thing is it's like, you know, like I've had my family members tell me like, you know, I'm working in this job and I thought I liked it and I really did like it, but now I don't like it. But I don't want to quit because I'll feel like a quitter. But it's like, you're not enjoying it. So like, are you going to stay there because you don't want to be a quitter? It's something that you hate to do. So if you feel like you need to make an adjustment, make an adjustment.
Okay.
You know?
If you feel like it, do it.
I was supposed to do a show last weekend, but I'm like, no, I need some more time to relax, and I don't feel like doing this, so I don't want to be unhappy with what I'm doing, so I'm gonna reschedule it so that I'm ready to go, and though it's been still a whirlwind because I'm trying to achieve so much stuff, I'm still here, I'm still at it,
and so hair is slayed, nails on fleek, outfit
don't
amazing.
Be afraid to thank you, but don't be afraid to make adjustments as needed. But let's talk about those fears because I want to talk about breaking generational curses.
Ooh, girl.
And I want to talk about the 3 S's because this is another thing I tell my participants all the time. Don't be caught up in the 3 S's. Don't be stuck. Don't be simple and don't be scared. That those 3 S's mentality have killed many generations, have kept many families on one level, have stopped people who could have created the next big invention, the next big phenomena, whatever you want to call it. Like being scared, being simple, and also being stuck. Like, don't allow yourself to be that. And I know a lot of people grow up in families that are just like that. You know, they're just there.
It's normalized.
You know, getting welfare or, you know, being in low income and just being in that mindset is okay. So they don't have, they're stuck. They don't have they see the simple-minded people that are around them. They're stuck in that environment. And they're scared to be different because guess what? Nobody else is doing
It's hard to be different.
So let me speak on that.
So how do you guys stop yourself from being in the 3S whirlpool?
First of all, I love that. That's it.
Okay.
So, this is what really endeared to me with this question because I've witnessed it firsthand, being with my father, I believe, because I feel like he's
talk that talk.
I feel like that he's afraid of success, and every time that he starts doing well, it's like he self-sabotages himself.
Oh,
and that's another S.
Yeah,
it's 2 S's.
Self-sabotage.
Don't self-sabotage.
And I've literally learned from it by being an observant person and being who I am, sitting back and just watching, observing, and learning. I sit there and notice that he's literally scared of success. And the last thing I ever want to do is be in his position because I'm scared of success. Exactly. And it's like I had like little glimpses and little moments of where I felt like, or I've seen myself do something to self-sabotage something and I corrected it or something like that. Or I've seen him, or I gave him an idea of something and he just throws it off or not listens to it or runs away from it. Or I even, like for example, I told him about a job that he can get that I feel like he can be successful in, and I feel like that he doesn't have to kill himself because he is a lot older. He doesn't have to, kill himself to make good money, and he can sit back and relax and be successful. But he literally made excuses like, okay, my teeth is not all that. You want me to be in person in front of people and stuff like that. My wealth, my health is not all that appealing to be in front of people trying to sell something. I'm not the best looking salesman. But all of those is just fear of being. It's his way of running from success. Yeah. It's like you have to kind of jump out there and just go get it, and go try.
All those things will come.
Those are roadblocks.
You know what we call it? And go ahead. I want to let you go, but I want to say this. One thing that you have to know are there going to be barriers to success. Yeah. And so if those are all barriers to success, what do you have to do? Work on removing the barriers.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Take
That's
the
definitely
teeth.
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Take your teeth. Try to find resources. Community resourcing is out there. Go online, look at things that you could do to try to at least get to a point where you're more comfortable. You may not have perfect teeth.
Talk like this.
You can't go to Tijuana yet and spend that $5,000 for them fake teeth, but you gonna get there. Like get the resource for that. There are free clothes resources where you can go and get free clothes to be able to wear the stuff that you want to wear. Like they have interview clothes.
Dress for
everywhere.
Success. Yeah.
So you can get those clothes that you think that you should wear.
She's coming up with solutions for all those roadblocks.
Yeah.
That could eliminate the fear. So
or just diving in is a good thing because you never know. See, if you look at
even failing, you find every time you fail is like a learning lesson. You have to take it as a learning lesson.
Let me tell you something.
You're gonna continue to run away from your fear. So like if you jump out there and you just fail, you got to figure out the reason why you failed. Yeah. And now you know what not to do.
I love that for you because you're very brave. Because that's a brave thing to do. Don't nobody want to fail. Like I'm a scary person. I'm a calculated. So when I don't do things out of scared, so that's why I wrote that down because mine is more out of safety net and comfort. If it's okay and it ain't hurting me, baby, I'm comfortable. I'm gonna keep it. But that's not okay, and that's why I don't want to be stuck, simple, and scared. I wrote that shit down. Yeah. So, but with your father, it's like he has tried and he's had these outcomes, and maybe you providing solutions and maybe helping him a little bit more. Because when your self-esteem is damaged from a bad try, it is very damaging to put yourself out there and be like,
I'm gonna try again.
Did you see your teeth? You came in my office and them closed. Yeah. Try again. That's damaging, and it makes your confidence go down. Yeah. So maybe call and be like, hey, I found you this place. Because I've had to do that with Granny, with my grandma.
Yeah.
She has that same thing.
Yeah.
And also just some people ain't ready. They feel like you
always
can't make somebody
you're
ready.
gonna always feel like you're not ready. And then let me jump on something else that you said. Fear. I don't believe in fear.
That's great for you. I do.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do.
But think about the mindset of, think about adopting that mindset of not believing in fear, because by definition, fear is not even real.
Mm-hmm. It's in your mind. That's why having those visual examples are helpful.
Exactly.
Like,
because it cures it. It literally cures the.
It helps to cure
the mental thought.
It's still there. But it's still there. When you wake up in that bank account ain't motherfucking working. What's refresh? Who went out to Taco Bell?
Another thing too is it's like some people can get rid of that fear and then they just drive it in and they're comfortable with that. But if you're not a comfortable person that could do that, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So one
some
things
are gonna be uncomfortable. You just gotta
look,
fight through.
And then there goes bravery. You just gotta. I just can't because
you gotta be.
I need some help.
If you just do it, if you just do it,
what makes you just do it? Because I'm gonna tell you right now,
Nike,
that's the hardest thing.
It is hard, but if you just do it,
it's not you gotta
think.
Me.
You gotta not think. You're
Just
overthinking.
for so many people.
You're overthinking.
So how do you not overthink? Is
one thing we also have to talk about is the mentality of a person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're so brave.
Our generation, we have seen people take those big leaps and be successful.
They be falling.
So we may be scared, but we might jump in it because we've seen
such and such do it,
and such and such ended up surviving. But in the older generation, you got to think about the time that your father may have come from, where, especially as a black man,
right,
where you go to a place and you're presenting yourself and you have the skills and you have everything that you need and you feel like you could be the best person for the job, but there are people who are turning their nose down on you just for your teeth and your clothes. Right. They haven't even seen your talent. Our people come from a time that they can't even present their talent. Yeah. Before they can present it, their color or their skin, the fact that we have more melanin in our skin has nothing to do with us being less or more talented than the next person or capable than the next person, because it all comes into that mentality. And that's another thing is minorities have had struggles where we have our ancestry mentality where we can't do things. And we have been put in these boxes, and a lot of us break out and bust out of the boxes, but a lot of us don't have the skills to. The slave mentality.
Or hold on, let me say
mentality is real.
Readiness is a big thing. That's why manifestation. With readiness, you can make it. Yeah. But don't forget to be ready for what you're going to do. Yeah. It's a great thing to be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the moon. Yeah. With what rocket ship? Yeah. You've been there. So be ready, and I love what you told me, that story about job readiness. Yeah, I agree with that. If you're not ready, you can put yourself out there all day. You're gonna fail, and it's gonna affect your self-esteem.
Being prepared is the ultimate thing. But if you're, I think that one thing that we need to help, especially the older generation and the younger generation, understand is that breaking down the door is the first step. But we also have to reinvent ourselves. Like we didn't really have a confidence or concept.
They told you who you were.
Because we were told who we were.
You were told
what we could do. And so a lot of people feel like, I can't do that because, like, before we had Obama as president, do you think, how many little
What was his campaign? I think I can or something?
How many black boys did
you
think?
Hope campaign.
Or you hear say that they wanted to be the president of the United States. I didn't hear it. But now you go talk to little black boys and little black girls.
I could be the president.
They want to be president.
It's now more normal.
Yeah.
It becomes normalized. It takes that one
It takes a lot for, especially the older generation, to come into the mindset that things are different and they can do things. Like a lot of people still feel like, oh, I don't want to go in that environment because it's racist. I'm showing up. Yeah. Like Clyde said, we went to the brunch and I put ball in his motherfucking occasion because that's resonated with me.
Love that for her.
Because I've been several places where they asked me.
Say? Could you read that?
Where they asked me.
Richer than I've ever been.
What? Like, that was a manifestation for real.
And the thing is, I've been in a lot of places where they asked me, what are we celebrating? Bitch, I'm celebrating the fact that I'm hungry and I want to drink. I had a long day at work. I'm not celebrating shit but the fact that I'm still alive. Right. So let's, basically him saying balling is the motherfucking occasion. I don't need an occasion to be in this setting. Mm-hmm. I'm a free human being now. I'm out here working just like you are, and I want to.
You could do things just because.
Yes.
Just because I feel like it. Just because I want to. Just because I love myself.
But you got to remember. So some people, they're coming from a lack, and so what can be helpful is having the readiness, having the tools, having vision boards, having things that are printed, having their phone screensaver as 6 blocks of things they want to accomplish that month.
Exactly.
So it's little things, reading proper books, listening to things like
audio,
motivation books, the
books
videos that you said you listen to, that helped you. So
and
maybe they change the way they get up. Maybe instead of getting up to like, no, motivation.
Yeah.
Getting into yourself the first thing.
Things.
Yoga, get that blood flowing.
And another thing is too, like, one thing I have always found is resources.
Go ahead then.
Get on the internet and looking up some shit.
She booty knowing stuff, y'all.
YouTube
she
University is the motherfucking
y'all.
shit.
I love
okay? Like, for everything.
Who you telling, man?
Okay.
They teach you all of it.
Resource.
YouTube,
a lot of the things that we are lacking, a lot of the barriers we have are on the internet.
If you have a question and don't know how to do something, look it up.
Yes.
Look it up. But don't trust Google, because one time I Googled my symptoms and I was dying. Yeah. So make sure
don't be a hypochondriac, but
y'all.
definitely look into what you want to do. Like, also with the manifestation, when it comes into putting that faith into work, you have to research, resources, look into things, learn the language, you know, whatever you have to do. You want to be
adapt, be open-minded. It's so much.
You want to be a vlogger, do research on vlogs, you know, study the vloggers,
get a mentor,
subscribe to them.
If you want to be a vlogger, watch vloggers, see what they do, see how they go about it. Structure your vlog how they structure their vlog.
Exactly.
Create a series, because a lot of vloggers make series of their vlog nowadays. Plan your day out. If you plan your day out for the week and you plan what you're gonna do, now when you vlog, you already know what you're gonna do. So now all you have to do is create your creativity into it. That way you can make it entertaining for your viewers. And you gotta make people like you for who you are.
And
so they would watch you just because they mess with who you are. So, but in order for them to mess with who you are, you have to learn who you are in order to love you. In order to become a fan.
And be comfortable with who you are. And you have to understand this. It's not your net worth. It's your network. So doing the research and kind of studying
your friends can get you bands
and contacting these people, being in these environments, going to these networking events, you know, traveling and meeting new people, sending your letters to people and getting information. Like, people are more willing to share than you would think, but they ain't gonna come to you and say, you want to be a blogger? I'm gonna give you everything you need to do it. So definitely putting out there, and then also disassociating with negative energy. I think that's a main thing.
Oh yeah,
and I want to talk really quickly on how you guys have had to disassociate with negative energy and why you feel like it has helped your life. Because some people have had people cut out of their life and be like, I'm doing so much greater now that I don't hang out with so and so, because that negative energy, I just feel like just so much more freer. And if you are around a person who is bringing you down so much that when you're not around them, you feel lighter, you feel happier, you feel more engaged with what you want to do, then you obviously know that energy was not a good energy. But talk about how you have had to do that, because people, they feel like it's a scary thing. Like, even with a relationship, like, you sometimes have to disassociate with that negative energy, because if it ain't meaning you no good, it's meaning you bad. And even if nothing bad is going on, you don't see anything bad going on. If it's not meaning you any good, it's not meaning it's meaning you something bad then. Period, point blank. And you have to think that way. But go ahead.
So with me, I'm very in tune with myself, and I'm a type of person. Well, I mean, a lot of people are not in tune with themselves, and a lot of people don't know what they want. But being that I am that type of person that is in tune with themselves and know what they want, when I'm around certain people that I'm not fond of, and it doesn't have to be just not fond of, just the energy is not right, or the type of things that they're into, or the type of energy that they bring with them is not the type of energy that I can collab with, or that I am fond of. I don't associate myself with. And sometimes certain people, like especially acquaintances or people that you're gonna work with, it's like you're gonna match with them in a certain type of way and in a certain type of setting, but you don't have to continue it into further things. Like, I have certain friends that I would go to the studio with, but I wouldn't go to the club with. I wouldn't go play basketball with. I wouldn't play 2K with. I wouldn't go hang out with. I have certain friends that I would go play basketball with, but that I wouldn't go hang out with on a daily basis. It's just, you got to know what type of people are for what. And there's certain friends that I have that I can do anything with, and those are my real day one friends.
But some people are just not those type of people.
You got to know certain people people are not those type of people. And even if, okay, you might hang out with them once in a while, but hanging out with them all the time in certain settings is just not, you're not the best for you. And you have to understand that. You have to be able to read that. You got to be able to know yourself and know your energy and know what you like and know who you are in order to be able to fully fond yourself with certain energies in order for you to cancel out who you need to cancel out and bring in who you need to bring in, or use them for the situation that they're good for, or what you can collab with them with. Because he might be a great rapper, you know, I do music, so he might be a great rapper, but he might do too much sometimes. So okay, I'm gonna go to the studio with you, and we're gonna, you know, make this little hit or whatever. But then after we're done,
get on. Yes, give me get on.
I'm gonna go home. I'm not gonna go to the club.
Don't get arrested, okay?
I'm not gonna get shot with you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I just rap about it, but for real, I'm good.
Yeah.
But
so
what about you, Law, too?
Okay, so I definitely agree with you. Compartmentalizing my friendships is important, but I'm quick to cut somebody off, y'all. I'll tell people it's not a part of my journey. Like even my mom, shout out to you if you're watching. I know you always watching. Sharon, send it to everybody. But anyways, I'll tell somebody, hey, this conversation is not a part of my journey, or can I revisit this? I'm not in a place to discuss this at this moment because. By peace and silent not, like, you are very important. Like, you create your life. When I realized how much power that we have on a day-to-day basis on who we choose to talk to, be influenced by, conversate with, share information with, it's crazy, you guys. You design your life, and birds of a feather flock together. This year, starting last year, I had a different set of friends. Shout out to the luxury boss babes that I introduced myself to this year. So just our topics are different. We talk about streams of income, y'all. We talk about real estate. We talk about going places that's going to elevate the image. Shout out to Jenny, Jazz, Chalet, because we be doing lots of boss babe stuff. Just all my conversations are intentional. Like, if I'm not getting nothing out of it, I kind of want to leave. I'll be like, I'm about to go. Y'all have a good one.
And another thing is to, I had to learn to be able to tell people, like, when you're a person who is good to talk to, you give good advice. You become somewhat of a dumper.
Yeah, you know, I'm dumping on you, my bad.
Yeah, some people they love that about you, and they will utilize that service. In other words. So you sometimes have to know when to not answer, or to tell them, like, hey, right now I can't deal with that. Because then you will take on that energy. And just because it's over the phone, don't mean that energy ain't transferring. Energy is very real and very powerful. So if you have to end a conversation, if your homegirl only call you when her man is tripping and she ready to leave him, and her kids, and she's stressed out, she needs you to cash out her, all this shit, then you may need to be like, friend, right now you are at a point in your life that you need to get some things together, and I can't be able to support you all the time.
Her journey.
And it's starting to make me feel like I'm directly involved in all of the things you're going through. So in order to protect myself, I got to kind of fall back from that. I'm praying for you. I'm a hope that you figure it out. Here's some maybe resources. Here's some connections you can make. Here's a number to call, but I can't.
That's why they be calling you, because you amazing. Because I ain't doing none of that. It's not a part of my journey. I'm drawing back. And stop calling me.
And sometimes you have to just be like that. Like,
I'm setting boundaries. Hey, I'm not doing it.
If you only hear from that friend when they need something, or they want you to, I want you to come to my event, or I need something. It's like, that maybe not
it's
is
one
your
sided.
friend.
It's not reciprocal.
Yeah, they not doing nothing for you. If you have something going on and they never show up, then that means, you know, you're the space filler. And, and you got to kind of reevaluate what you want to do for people, and if you want to continue being that person, because if you're spending time, every time you do something for somebody else, that's time away from what you could be doing for yourself. So make sure
or with healthy people.
Yeah, and make sure it's worth it.
Friendships.
It's not that you want to use people, but just make sure that what you're getting out of it is worth it.
Reciprocal.
You know what I mean? Like putting that energy into something else and not getting it back, you're depleting yourself. So you kind of always have to be on the lookout for getting that energy back. And that's just something I wanted to state as a closing statement, but I want to allow you guys to give your last thoughts on manifestation and goals, and then we'll close up.
Manifest better friends and that reciprocate your energy, because when you give a lot, you a lot as a person, people gonna take whatever they can get. The takers have no boundaries, so set some boundaries and don't let them take from you.
My advice would be have step-by-step manifestations. Have a structure with your manifestations. If you want to make $1 million, like she said earlier, you know, let's first make that 1,000. Let's first make the 10,000, then 100,000. So, you know, step-by-step manifestation, then I would probably say focus on your manifestation, believe in your manifestation, preach your manifestation to yourself, to others. That way it can become a real manifestation, you know? So that would be my advice.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, definitely. I think all in all, if you want to do it, put the work in for it, put the energy in for it. People should be annoyed by your goals and your aspirations because they should say, dang, I don't know why Shalay coming around because all she going to talk about is the oral therapy podcast. I sure am.
She obsessed with it. I love that.
Everywhere I go, I pass out a card. Everywhere I go, I'm trying to figure out if I can use the space for an event I want to have in the future. So definitely.
Everything's a topic on Instagram, period.
You know, and I constantly talk to people to see what people are wanting to talk about. Yeah. So definitely make your goals a part of your life. Know that you're a living, working manual and that everything is going to change, but with change comes great things. Sometimes you're going to have some bad times, but in all, if you keep at it, you're going to see the you that you want to see because it's a new year, but it's the same you, just a better you to come. Cheers to it. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Oral Therapy Podcast. And, you know, stick to the best therapy with oral therapy.